Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with Retire Different. Retire Different is a place for people who want to ask the right questions to make really great financial decisions for their retirement. Now, we talk about all kinds of very practical things, ways to save money in retirement and make money in retirement. I want to share with you a summary of an article that we wrote on the website about becoming an Airbnb host. Now, a lot of people are doing this these days. In fact, the older demographic is the fastest growing number of people who are renting out their properties on Airbnb. And it's a really great time to be a host as you get a little older. You can make friends and meet new people. And you can also, just bring your life experience to the process. A lot of young people rent out their properties, but the older people now have a home that has been furnished. They're comfortable there, and they can welcome someone into their home on their own terms. And that's really the important thing. And I wanted to chat with you. If you've got any hesitation, give you some some guidance based on my own personal experience. I don't actually rent a property on Airbnb, but I've been a rentee, and many of the people I've stayed with have been older people. So here's the thing that you need to think about if you are going to be a host on Airbnb. By the way, there's about 200,000 seniors, over 60 probably, who are renting their properties on Airbnb, and over half, 120,000, are senior women. So I think this is a really interesting number, and it just goes to show the potential for being an Airbnb host. So the first things you have to think about, well, you have to register first with Airbnb, and they have a very well-established and easy-to-follow process, and I think that's important. You're working with a reputable company. Now, yes, we've all heard of the challenges and some of the stories that people have told about Airbnb rentals and being a renter, but they've got a good customer service infrastructure. I've used them a couple of times, but all of my experiences, and I must have stayed at 20 Airbnbs, has been positive. But if you're going to be a host, sign up with Airbnb first, and then let's just talk about what it might be like to be a host on Airbnb. First of all, get to know your local real estate market. It's really important that you understand that if you're going to put your house or your room or property on the market, you've got to see what else is there for people. Don't forget, you've got other sites, booking.com, hotels.com, lots of places where there are competitive properties. So think about your area. Do you have business conventions there? Are there a lot of large companies that have events where people come into the city and look for a place to stay for a few days? Why do the people come to your city? Are there some special attractions? Is there a museum or something that people tend to want to be experiencing? What kind of guest are you trying to target? Are you looking for just women, if you're a woman, or if you're looking for a person in a certain age group? You can't discriminate, of course, on the basis of anything that's relevant. I mean, those are the big categories, but you can be more selective. I've many times chosen a woman because I just feel comfortable, staying in the house with another woman. So the other thing to think about is, are there any restrictions in terms of taxes, legal obligations, things that you might need to consider? A lot of places now are becoming very aware that people are making money from Airbnb. So I'm not sure about your area, but check it out, because it could be considered income. And that income has to be on your stated on your income tax, and you pay tax. It's income for you. Another thing to consider is, do you need a separate license, like some special kind of legal document? Do you have to apply for something in order to rent space in your home? I know that there have been some restrictions lately in different cities where you can only rent for a certain number of days, and this is to protect the renter as much as anything from squatters and people. Different towns and cities have different rules. So check that out. Just work with a financial advisor or an expert, an accountant, as to what your legal obligations could possibly be. Think about the state of your property. You've lived there probably for many years if you're retiring, and maybe to you it's comfortable. But are there certain things that you'd need to think about, like getting some locks on parts of your house or your room that you don't want people to have access to? you got papers or something you want to keep private? Do you have any kind of safety issues that you have to consider? Like, is there something that could be for you is you're used to slipping on the rug in the bathroom, but you've got to be really, really careful that if there are any safety concerns, you take care of those. That's super important. The next thing to do, of course, once you've decided that yes, this is for me, is to put together a fantastic listing. Make the words work for you and make the pictures work for you. I remember I stayed in an Airbnb in Cardiff in Wales, and it was I signed up for it. I rented it because of two things. It said urban oasis, which just sounded so cool, and it was. And when I saw the pictures, it was just beautiful. It was a simple room, but it had a little doorway that entered into a conservatory, which was just like a jungle of flowers, and the bathroom was at the end. It was really unusual, but beautifully done. And I had a wonderful time. The owners were great, and their garden, separate from the conservatory, was just amazing. So that's another thing. So Airbnb can help you. They can help you get started. They've got all kinds of guidelines and suggestions, but like the words are important, the pictures are also important. And you can do amazing things just with your phone camera or a regular camera, but just make sure the light is good. Make sure that you show the angles of things so it's not unclear to someone. The Airbnb listing will guide you through: is it a room? Is it a share of a whole house? Is it the whole house or apartment? And but it's really good to support it with pictures. Another thing to think about is make sure that you have your target customer in mind, and that you put, if you're looking, for example, for working people, just make sure that, like, if you want to have a little kettle for them to make a cup of tea, or what are the things that you would miss if you were away from home on a business trip, like nice fresh towels or whatever. But be sure that in your mind, and even visualize someone. When you get like an image of someone that you'd love to open the door and see, that's the person, because your pictures and your words can lead them to you. And I think that's a really, really important thing. Select the right price for your listing. That's super important. We talked about, looking at your area of the country or city and what other people are charging for their rooms. Go on other Airbnb site listings and see what they charge. You want to be competitive, unless you've got something really unique to offer. So, for example, Airbnb recently started something called Experiences. So in addition to offering the room or the apartment, you can actually offer an experience, which is taking them on a tour of the city, or cooking a meal for them, or any number of experiences. Spending some time mapping out the city walk for them. Those experiences you can charge extra for, and that sometimes does give you a little edge. Or maybe you partner with someone to do hair, beauty makeover or massage, or someone in the town who has a business that's prepared to give a little discount for you. All kinds of little things you can do like that to make your property, your listing, unique. And I think that's the secret. So I guess the key message here is avoid any problems before they start. Have a good frequently asked questions. Don't be afraid to set some rules. If you live in a flat where you've got a family below you and they have children, and you say no noise after 9 o'clock, if there's young people that want to stay up a little bit later than that, they won't be drawn to your listing. And those are your house rules. And there's nothing wrong with house rules in Airbnb. It's just your house. And you'll find that people who are not, concerned about being up after 9, like me, I always sort of curl up in bed usually when I'm traveling. I'm so tired. But I'm a low maintenance renter, but rentee. But anyway, that's another thing to think about. Create firm but fair house rules. And of course, be careful of scammers, because there are people around there to take advantage of every situation. So because Airbnb is reputation based, look at their reports. Look if they've got someone where they stayed before. If someone is asking to stay at your place and they've never stayed anywhere else, you've got no background on them, nothing about who they are. This is, of course, challenging if you're just getting started as a rentee, but you've got to have some kind of confidence that you're okay. If maybe there's 2 or 3 of you there, that's okay. Take a new person in, then you're not in your apartment. You're not worried that you're by yourself with them. Then that gives them a chance to get started on the Airbnb journey as well. So I hope that's helped. If you're thinking about doing Airbnb as a host, please leave your experiences below. If you are a host on Airbnb, tell us about your experience. And if you have been a guest and you want to just say something about your Airbnb stay, leave that in the comments section below too. It's really useful. That's what we're kind of all about here at Retire Different, is to share our experiences and help each other, succeed in retirement. So have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope that you have success with your Airbnb project, if that's what you're intending to do, and look forward to your comments below. Take good care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.